Hi lovelies and welcome to the Witch's Cookery. I don't know if it's my raging nesting hormones or the general spring energy, but I feel the strong urge to clean, cleanse and organize at the moment. So today's witch vlog will be a holistic spiritual cleanse and clean with me video. We will find out all about cleansing energy. First, of course, we have to discuss what the heck energy actually is when referring to it in a witchcraft or spiritual context. Then we will see what cleansing actually entails. Techniques are out there, different forms for different purposes. I want to introduce you to energy cleansing off the beaten path because quite frankly, I'm not a sage stick girl. We will look into how a cleansing ritual for yourself could look like, what the best time for energetical cleansing is, how to cleanse yourself and your house of negative energy, and then of course we will also discuss if cleansing is always necessary. That all sprinkled in with a little bit of cottage witchery, self-care magic and a whole lot of inspiration for your personal witchcraft practice. Let's get cleaning! Not mad about this cleaning dress up at all. I feel like I give off Donna from that 70s show vibes. Looking good today! Little disclaimer, only for the video, because usually my cleaning getup much more resembles Professor Quirrell from Harry Potter. But I figured you don't want to stare at my egghead for 20 minutes. You're welcome! Anyways, let's start with the basics. What even is energy or negative energy? If you practice witchcraft or are a spiritual person in general, sooner or later you will stumble across that term. And we use the term energy in everyday life a lot, depending on context. Mostly borrowed from its scientific types of meaning as some source of power or drive. Energy is defined as the capacity for doing work, and there are so many different types of energies. Nuclear energy, electric energy, kinetic energy, potential energy, thermal energy. Wish I had paid better attention in physics in school. Anyway, lots of types of energy. But in witchcraft or spirituality, we mean something slightly different. And what exactly we mean by energy will depend on the person, on a personal belief system of how the world works. So for me personally, as an agnostic, secular, skeptical witch, energy describes an unpalpable type of feeling that is happening in my mind in relation to a place or an object or a person or a situation. A couple of examples to explain that better. You meet up for coffee with a friend and they're like super negative the entire time. They just complain, they gossip. It just creates this type of mood, this negative feeling that radiates in that situation. And that can also affect your mood and how you feel, even if you had the best day and you're in such high spirits. Now you might go away from that coffee date and feel a little bit like, oh, heavy-hearted. Of course, works also the other way around. If you hang out with people that are very happy and joyful, that can also be contagious with positive energy. You can also feel a negative energy of a place. Maybe you visit a haunted house or a murder house and you know what happened there. So you feel kind of like a somber atmosphere, or it's a little bit depressing for you to be there. Little example from my personal life. I hate taxes. Always had to file in different countries. None of my tax advisors could figure out how that works. Gives me the worst anxiety. Every time I'm in the city and I'm walking that street where the tax office is, my heart starts to race. I get sweaty palms when I see that building. Like literally in my mind, it has like this gray, heavy cloud around it. Just walk in there with a sage stick the size of my head and smoke them all out. You know what I mean? You have some kind of mental connection to a place space, and that gives you a feeling that you not quite can describe, other than it gives off a negative energy. When working in witchcraft, we often also assign a certain energy to a tool. It doesn't mean that in the physical world that object really has that energy or power, but it has it in your mind because you connect it. For example, if I work with the elements and I work with water and I associate flowing water with clean and with fresh, I can say that water has a purifying energy about it in my witchcraft workings. Or some people believe in healing crystals or certain astrological constellations that affect them with a certain energy. I am not really the person to elaborate on this because I don't believe in it, but I'm sure there are other creators out there where you can find more information on that. Energy and spirituality can be described as high or low, meaning what you radiate off to other people, or the feeling is stronger or less strong. So how do you cleanse certain energies? Depends on context, depends on what energy you want to get rid of. Is it a situation? Is it an object? Is it in your mind? Is it more physical? So now I want to introduce you to a little self-cleansing ritual that you can do to rid your mind of negative energy. Nothing better than to look after yourself than a little witchy self-care magic. Works like a charm if you had a bad day at work, feel anxious, stressed out, sad, or just have that feeling that you need to scrape some negative energy off your mind, soul and body. Ritualistic cleansing baths are a wonderful way to do so, but this works equally well in the shower. So in order to infuse a little green witchcrafting into this ritual, I am showing you my favorite salt scrub. I like to mix sea salt, very mineral rich and often used in therapeutic skincare, and pink Himalayan salt, as I find the color very pleasing, gets me in a calm, introspective mood. Both are amazing for detoxing and a magical purification. We add a carrier oil that feels good to your skin, I really like almond oil, and then some herbs depending on your specific purpose for the cleansing. I will be using lavender and chamomile to give me calm, and a few drops of sandalwood essential oil for that warm, safe feeling. In the bath water, I used Epsom salt, known for its detoxing properties, and it is a great relief for sore muscles too. While the water is pouring, you can set a calming mood with candles in a color that signify purification and cleansing to you. For me, that is usually white. Then we can sit down and write on a little piece of paper what negative energies we want to get rid of and cleanse away with this healing bath. You can then place the paper in your cauldron and burn it up, or just rip the paper apart. And now it is time to relax in the water, direct your mind to more positive things, and then mindfully scrub your body and mind of all the struggles and hassles and problems of the day. Now, when should you cleanse? Pretty simple, whenever you feel it's necessary. Specifically, if we're talking about those subtle feelings that can influence your mood, your productivity, your actions, your interactions with others. Cleansing can be done to have a new start, to feel better about something or someone, including yourself, to make something more comfortable, to empty your head, your heart, remove negative feelings, remove negative energies, create a blank canvas, have a new slate, and so on. A lot of people also cleanse before they start their magical work. Like it's like they will cleanse their altar space or their tools. And if you feel that is necessary, you can do that. It definitely has benefits. You can do that in order to get into the mindset, to really consciously shutting it off from your mundane struggles and hassle and finding the spiritual time for yourself. And of course, preparing the space for it. Or some people might want to cleanse it because they connected to spell work previously done and they want to get rid of that energy and get in with a new. Personally, I can't be bothered because I'm lazy. Some people do big cleansing rituals on important holidays throughout the wheel of year, and that will depend on your culture, where you're from, what path you follow, if you follow pagan traditions, what the seasons look like where you live. For me, such big cleansing holidays are especially Imbolc and Ostara, and you can find some cottage witchery DIYs and self-care cleansing magic and rituals in my previous vlogs that I will link you up above and down below. It's basically just living with a a natural rhythm. In spring, life awakens again, a new cycle begins. So it's nice to start this new life, this new cycle anew with a clean slate. And of course, here in Germany, we also have the Rauhnächte, or the 12 days of Christmas between Yule and Epiphany, where we do a lot of cleansing rituals, namely traditional smoke cleansing. A lot of people also use the new moon to do a cleansing of some sort. Same idea, new start, new beginnings, out with the old, in with the new. Now, is cleansing always necessary? No. What I read a lot is that people say when you get new tools, let's say a new tarot deck, you should first cleanse it and get rid of that energy because it has been packaged or handled, or it was in a store and people put their energy on it. Depends completely on your belief system. If you feel that, if you buy something and you feel, oh, I just want it clean, whatever, go ahead and do it. If that doesn't bother you, if you feel like, nah, I just gonna take it out of the package and do my magic with it, that is fine too. Again, energy is how you feel towards an object or a person or a thing. No one can feel that for you. You have to make your own call. I always feel that having too many rules and having to emulate what other people are doing can remove you from the actual spiritual practice or that connection that you can have with it, or it might even put a little barrier there that you just don't feel you have the time or energy to do such elaborate things all the time. Promoting laziness all the way. Authenticity and doing the thing that makes you you is the most important thing in life. Now, when it comes to witchcraft tools and cleansing, there are 2 rules that I've made for myself. If I've charmed an item, assigned it a specific purpose, and I want to use it for another reason, I will cleanse it first. And rule number 2, my witchcraft tools have to be sustainable, and I will show you an example of this with my magically charmed jewelry from Ana Luisa, who are kindly sponsoring this video. You probably have heard me rave about them before, as I'm a big fan of their beautiful pieces and of course their ethics when it comes to labor laws, donating to charity, sourcing materials and recycling and reusing old metals and turning them into something beautiful and new, in itself a form of cleansing. So this lovely black onyx ring I had enchanted with a glamour spell for assertiveness, steadfastness, and I love to wear it especially when I type business emails or have important calls. Gives me bad witch energy. But now I would like to use it for a completely different purpose, as an anchor for my hypnobirthing during labor for protection, strength and stamina. So what I do to cleanse is to simply remembering the times it served me well and have a moment of gratitude. Then I will rub it physically clean with a soft cotton cloth, and last but not least purify it in the smoke of a herbal mixture with rosemary, thyme and lavender. Then it is ready to be enchanted again. So why do I have that second rule? Well, I do believe that with our actions, for example buying something that we know or at least could assume has been produced using child labor, exploiting people or wrecking the planet, puts out a negative energy into the world. And no amount of spiritual cleansing will reverse the mundane effects it already had. So I rather immediately make a choice that feels positive. And in relation to this magical bling, you know how much I love to buy magic with mundane, and this elegant but unsuspicious jewelry ticks all boxes. They have a Mother's Day campaign running until mid-May, where you can buy 1 item and get the second one 40% off. Great if you are still looking for a prezi for an important motherly figure in your life or want to treat yourself. Link is in the description box below. Let's look a little bit more into the different ways on how to cleanse energy. If you're not living under a rock, you probably know about the sage stick smoke cleansing technique that is also in at the moment. Not unsurprising, this has been done all around the world for centuries and even millennia. People back then were not stupid, at least not more stupid than they are today. So of course, if they had an ailment, they would try different things and also different plants to help that along. Sage worked really well when brewed into a tea, when applied on wounds, they helped it heal quicker, or in the words of someone that doesn't understand modern medicine yet, the evil spirit left the body. So people were like, "Whoo, great! If it can cast evil spirits away from my body, it can also cast away evil spirits from my kettle in my house. It's just gonna burn that ish up. Let the smoke do its magic." And that's why we still use it today in a more spiritual context. Now personally, I really hate the smell of burning sage.
I don't know that.
I know you don't know that, that's why I'm telling you. Now personally I really hate the smell of burning sage, and I swear I'm not a demon in human shape. But on occasion I do enjoy a good smoke cleanse. In my culture, southern Germany, burning herbs is something that has been around since the Germanic tribes, and we have different herbs for different times on the wheel of year, rural holidays here that are still observed by the older generation, and there are a bunch of weather herbs, sun herbs, purifying herbs. If you want to know more about this in detail, just check out my vlogs on the pagan holidays. But careful, only because something is spiritual doesn't automatically make it healthy, advisable or safe. So smoke doesn't belong around pets, it doesn't belong around children, asthmatic people or people with allergies. Open your windows, let those smoke particles go out, and also don't do it too often. Same with incense or scented candles. All that ish that's burning up, that's now in the air, you will inhale, it gets in your lungs and it can actually cause cancer. So maybe limit the saging to special occasions. I also have a video on smokeless alternatives linked up here. But what other techniques are out there to cleanse energy? One of my faves is a sound, singing bowl to bring in this relaxing type of atmosphere, happy music to lift the mood, to get that negativity out of your mindset, out of your house. Of course, you could always blast some trash metal to get rid of those neighbors you don't like. Scent is another great one. Spritz a little bit of uplifting essential oil somewhere, purifying spray that you made, or wear it on your skin. Something that just helps you deal with the certain type of energy you feel in a situation, with a person, in a space. Talk it out, especially if that negative energy stems from a row you had with a loved one. Sit down, speak about it, figure it out. Another great way to use words for cleansing is writing stuff down. If you have like a negative energy around you that bothers you, something that's weighing heavy on your heart, write it in a journal, write it on a piece of paper, and then you can, for example, symbolically burn it to release it, to let it go, to cleanse that energy. Cleansing baths, cleansing showers, detox masks, scrubs, anything that helps you wash the energy away, physically clean it away. And what also helps if you're feeling a negative energy about you in your head is, of course, cleansing, purifying, detoxing your body, your mind. That can mean going on a social media cleanse and detox. That can mean enjoying a calm detox tea, some lemon water if you buy into that, part with unhealthy habits, or even do some form of fasting, which is also considered a spiritual cleanse in many cultures around the world. Now for some cottage witchery to cleanse energy. Get out your cauldrons, boys and girls. We are making a simple purifying spray to get rid of negativity and stuffiness in your house and soul and bring in fresh uplifting energies. Gotta peel a lemon and an orange, make yourself some vitamin infused water with the rest. Boom, energy boost. Now we need a clean and sterilized glass container, and we drown the peels in alcohol. There's really no need to take the good hooch, cheap does the trick grain alcohol or vodka from the supermarket. Just important that it's high proof, no rubbing alcohol, because that will smell terrible. I don't have any in the house at the moment because I get depressed when I look at it, but cannot mix a Bloody Mary. So I'm using alcohol distilled witch hazel instead. Helps the scent linger longer. If you're making this around Yule, throw in some cinnamon and cloves. Now this has to sit in a dark, cool place for a week or so to infuse with magic. After we sieve the peel out, add in some baking soda, helps absorb unpleasant smells, and top it off with distilled water. Finished! Spray should be used up within 2 to 3 weeks and maybe stored in the fridge between uses. Absolutely only gave that tip so I can flaunt my Pinterest-worthy organized fridge again. Spray, 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 doing that witch dance, and we are done. Magic worked. Now, if you practice some sort of folk witchcraft, you will also know that there are specific tools and ingredients that are typically used for purifying or cleansing. And now we're gonna take a look at some of them, see where that actually stems from and how you can use them in your witchcraft practice and also for your spring cleaning. Conveniently, a lot of them also make for low waste or zero waste natural household cleaners. First, of course, we have the besom that is typically used for that energetical cleaning, sweep out the negativity. And you will hear a lot of people say that it is important to not actually sweep the floor, but sweep slightly over it. It's not that the negative energy just accumulates like a little bit above the ground and just hovers there. The reason why people do that is more to make a break between the mundane act of sweeping and cleaning and the mindful spiritual activity to cleanse that energy or that feeling. But as always, this is a choice. Personally, I'm more of a multitasker, so I just get the sweeping done in one go and don't mess about with doing it twice. I barely have time to do it once. Let's be real. I don't even sweep, I hoover. Because also, it's not really about the tool, it's about the intention, it's about the mindful act of doing something. Dyson it ish up. And now that I think about it, you could probably also just sit down, light a lovely candle, do a visualization meditation for cleansing while your Roomba is doing the dirty work. Be creative for modern times, modern tools. Why is the besom traditionally used? Well, as everything, it just stems from old folk traditions and customs. In Germanic and Celtic roots, different trees, bushes, wood is connected to a specific magical outcome, protecting, warding, cleansing, getting rid of certain illnesses. And besoms were also made because they literally were there to sweep out the dirt, and they made it with that special wood in order to give it that extra power. Pretty sure this will be at home in other cultures too, but since I'm not educated on them, the comment section is yours. Please elaborate if you can. I do have much more detailed information in my Samhain video from 2 years ago, where I show you how to bind a besom, so you can have a little look. But in general, all those witchy tools and ingredients have their root in sympathetic magic, meaning people observed how an everyday item worked in their mundane world and then prescribed it a spiritual or supernatural type of power that was similar to that. For example, another big one, salt. Pretty early on, people figured out that salt was vital to stay healthy, to stay alive, to stay fit. They kind of connected it to this nourishing, good, protective character. As for them, sickness, illness was caused by evil spirits. Salt kept those away, or salt was able to cleanse it from a body. It was sprinkled around the house, around the stables to draw the negativity, evil spirits out, or to keep them at bay. People rubbed their newborns with it. They would throw it in the direction of an oncoming storm. Curiously so, the church couldn't decide if salt was good or evil. Until today, for example, at Easter in the Catholic Church, you bring your soul to get it blessed. The Benedictio Salis, the blessing of the soul, so you can bring it home and use it for those cleansing purposes. And another way to explain that relation with sympathetic magic here, know that when we sprinkle salt onto something moist, on a veggie, for example, it draws out the fluids. So if you observe that, you might also think, oh, maybe salt can also draw out other things of other things. So a way that people use it for energetical cleansing, for example, is to put it in a glass with water and then set that in a room where you want to cleanse the energy. By the way, that would be a great little subtle way to do it in an office space. Or walk around the house with that to absorb the negative energy, and then you just pour it down the drain. Please don't pour it in the soil. The poor animals and plants don't. No. Also, the spiritual cleansing, of course, salt is great for any kinds of stains in your carpets and other fabrics. Or it can easily remove burnt food from pots and pans. And back in the days, like my grandma would even use it to brush her teeth, to whiten her teeth, but I don't think that's very good for them. Don't do that. We already discussed sage before, but apart from burning it, it's also a great ingredient to infuse your cottage witch floor washes, DIY cleansers, detox and purification teas, cleansing baths, DIY toothpaste powders, and of course DIY deodorant, so you smell fresh and cleansed too. Another popular ingredient, lemon, bleaches stuff, removes grease, gets rid of odors, makes copper shine again, and so forth. Plus, it's always connected to those uplifting, cheery energies, which, by the way, partially scientifically proven the smell of citrus will make you a bit happier. So magic, you can use it in cleansing simmer pots. You can use the peel in spell jars. You can make it into a candle that you burn for that purpose in your house. Or again, cottage witch cleaning products. I feel I've talked enough. It's time for a proper spring cleaning of this casa. So how do you cleanse your house of negative energy?
Remember to wash your hands. Remember to wash your hands. Every time you've been around playing with friends, remember to wash your hands. Remember to wash with soap. Remember to wash with soap. When you wash your hands after blowing your nose, remember to wash with soap. And count to 20 at least. Count to 20 at least. Cover your cough and then wash your hands. And always count to 20 at least.
Oh yes, and before I go, I wanted to give you a quick little reminder to check out Ana Luisa and their magical jewelry. I left you the link down in the description below. Be sure to make use of their next magical sale. Goodbye!